Well, family, good morning, good morning, good morning to everyone. How are you doing? Here we are at another Freedom Point Friday. At this point in Team of the Network, I sure hope you know what Freedom Point means. If you don't, you better ask somebody. Well, I know that we all had a wonderful, exciting past evening. Many of us were doing TTPs. Many of us was on the corporate call with Robin Hickens, finding out what the newest updates were. And many of us were just out sharing the great things that are happening here and Team Effort Network. Well, you have dialed into the Team Effort Lifestyle Call. This is your host, Pastor Denise now, along with my business partner, One Star BCQ Qualified, Pastor Joe Wafer. Family, the line is open. Introduce yourself. What's your name? Where are you calling in from?
Josephine, Maryland.
All right, Maryland, how you doing this morning?
Fine, thank you.
How's it going, Josephine?
Doing wonderful. It's going great.
Good to see you last night.
Yes, indeed. It was good to see you, too. It was wonderful. And congratulations to all the new recruits.
Isn't that something? I mean, they're just coming in by the dozen, aren't they, Josephine?
Yes, they are.
And Josephine, look, and they're coming in dancing, aren't they?
Yes, indeed. Everybody's happy.
Well, thank you for being here this morning. Well, who else is with Josephine and I this morning? Introduce yourself.
Robert Smith is with you. Robert Smith is with you.
Oh, wow. Hey, Robert, how are you, sir?
Oh, pumped up, ready to go. I've got to get to the executive sounding member, man. I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
Okay. Now, you did a lot of dancing last night.
South Carolina.
All right, Miss Thelma, how are you, lady?
I am well, thank you.
Wonderful.
Beautiful here today.
Yes, yes. Keep it coming, family. Listen, with us this morning. Introduce yourself. Where you calling in from?
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in the house, Pastor Denise. This is Carol Dillingham.
My goodness, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Hi, Carol. How are you?
I am blessed and highly favored. How are you, Pastor?
Oh, my goodness. Yes, ma'am, you are, and we are, too.
Wonderful.
Listen, good to hear you.
Millionaire in the making, Sheila Taylor McDuffie from Maryland in the house on a Friday.
I know you know about Freedom Point Friday, right, Miss Sheila? I know you know about Freedom Point Friday.
Yes, I do.
Well, welcome to the call, Miss Mina and Megan. Who else is with us this morning? Keep it coming, family.
Ball Jackson, Fairmont Heights, Maryland.
Mr. Jackson, smooth operator.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm on the line. I'm
Doing great. Magnificent day. Magnificent day.
Yeah, look, you and Frida Dancing Machine turned it out last night.
I ain't Pastor Denise. I'm right here. How you doing?
Frida, I'm doing good, lady. How are you this morning?
Just great.
Boy, you got something else on the dance floor.
Thank
Wow.
Thank you.
All right, family, keep it coming. Who else is with us? Who else is with us this morning?
Samantha, California.
Samantha, hi, dear. How are you?
I'm good. How are you this morning?
Doing great. Ready for another wonderful day.
We ready for Hollywood, girl. We ready. We going.
Hollywood better be ready for us.
The conference is now in presentation mode. Your line is muted.
Welcome, family. Welcome to Freedom Point Friday. And that's right, Samantha. Hollywood better be ready for us because I'm telling you, we have something that is amazing. If you haven't figured it out by now, what we have is really, truly changing people's lives. I mean, we are hearing some wonderful, incredible stories. But before I go into one that was shared last night that just moved my heart, I want to say, are you not excited about the announcement that was made last night from Robert Hickens from corporate with the call? Did you not hear that you have another opportunity? See, this is how great this company is. Just in case you missed it the first go-round, Grace says, let's try it again. So just in case you really wanted that title of being an executive founding member, you have the opportunity to do that again. It is placed before you one last time before February 2013. You have the opportunity to become an executive founding member with Team Effort Network and to also win $1,000 as you walk across the stage in Las Vegas, Nevada, to celebrate our 1-year birthday anniversary. Now, that is amazing, and some of you came so close on last month, and some of you achieved that goal. But now those who really want it, and we had some folks that was in the house last night that when they heard it, they said, I'm going for it. I'm going for that title. And they are on a mission. They wrote out their goals. They looked at it. They said, I'm going to do that this month. So they saw that it being possible, and they are going for it. So I suggest you, if you really want that, and I know some of you really want it, go for it. Set your goals right now today, and you can make it happen. You know, last night at our TTP, Apostle Quick was there, of course, with everybody else in the house. But when he got up to share his testimony, you know, Apostle Quick is his story is like so many of ours. But he said last night, Apostle Quick, remember, he's 78 years young. He's 78, just turned 78 a month ago. And he said, you know, a lot of times people think when people get older, they're just supposed to kind of like stop living, you know. They get these aches and these pains, and they kind of pull away from life, and they just kind of sit around. Apostle Quick said, not me. He says, I'm walking, I'm running. He was bending up and down. He was showing us how he can go from up to his knees to his floor. He looked like a 25-year-old man on that floor last night, just up and down, up and down. And guess what he said? He said, not only am I doing better from taking the vitamin sprays, he used to have this gout. His hand used to be really swollen from gout, where he suffered from gout in his hand. He said to the point where he couldn't grab his guitar to play it. He showed his hand. His hand is not swollen. He showed where his knee no longer has the pain in it. He told us how he's walking miles a day. He's exercising. And guess what else Apostle Quick said at the age of 78? He said, doggone it, I'm thinking about even getting married again. I said, you go ahead, Apostle Quick. I mean, it just turned it out. That was just so beautiful to hear. 78-year young man says, you know what, I think I'm going to go ahead. I just may go ahead and get married again. So some young lady, watch out, because there's as Paul Jackson would say, a mandarin warrior is on the look for you. And the word says that a man that finds a wife finds a good thing. So Apostle Quick, you go ahead and find that good thing, sir. I'm going to stop right here. Bring on my business partner, 1 star, DCQ qualified, Pastor Del Wafer. Are you there this morning, sir?
Yes, I am. All I can say is Maureen Murphy Smith better be glad she wasn't there last night. She might have got married. Pastor Quick may have picked her up.
I mean, his story just blessed us, Pastor Dale. You should have just turned the place completely out. It was such a wonderful time last night. And the folks were dancing, and you missed again. You missed Paul Jackson again on that dance floor. And this time, his wife Frida jumped up with him, along with Sheila Minette and Megan, his sister-in-law. They just took the dance floor over. It was just one beautiful TTT party last night. Great announcements, great testimonies, great life. That lifestyle Melanie Miguel talks about was just in full form last night.
It was, and we had a lot of new faces there last night, and it's strange when you have so many people, and then you see a room full of people, and a lot of them are new faces. You're like, man, wow, there's a lot of guests here, and though we had a lot of guests last night, yeah, Cheryl and Stefan. And there was a bunch of women here at the table at the conference room. Now, this is a business office who allowed all of their employees to take their lunch break at the same time and all come to the conference room to see our presentation on 10. And I'm like, who does that? What company does that? To let you come in and talk to their people like that? But you know what? We sat there and we said, well, they only have an hour lunch break, so I'm pressed for time. So we were like, really get in the position to just roll real fast in the presentation. And so I'm going through, and one of the ladies said, he said, well, how much time do we have today for break to do this presentation? And her boss was there with her. And the boss looked at her and looked at us and said, as much time as they need. I'm like, what?
Wow.
And it was such a really powerful thing. But I said all that to say, when we start talking about the testimonies, like Apostle Quicks, Bishop Warren Hemphill, when we start talking about, your testimony and my mother's testimony and people's testimony, I mean, people just sit back. And it's almost like, can this really be true? Can what you're telling me be true? And when we were at the East Coast Regional, Mel and Amy, especially Mel, he talks about, just telling testimonies. He said, get yourself a book and put a picture of the person who had a testimony and put in there what their testimony is. And he said, when you're sitting down with people, just flip open the book and say, this is Susie. This is her testimony. This is Billy. This is his testimony. This is Sean. This is his testimony. He said, because, you can have all of the language about, what the D3 can do and, what the product is made of. And you can have, story of the company. You can have all of that stuff. He says, but as long as he's been in the business, let me tell you, Mel and Amy know about building this kind of business. He says, as long as we've been in the business, he said, all of the facts you can have them all. He said, but people buy stories. He said, buy stories. And so he said, they just told stories. They just told about people's stories, and I said, wow, that's powerful. and we started just telling people stories of what happened. And these people just, I mean, it almost looked like they didn't blink their eye. They were so focused on this thing. And when we got through, everyone in the room pulled out their checkbook, pulled out their credit cards, and, people bought, all of the retail products. I said there, for a 1 hour presentation, Cheryl made over $340 just from the retail side in 1 hour. In 1 hour, I'm like, whoa, $340. I said, shoot, I should have brought me some sprays. But everybody said, I need to have this. And they said, well, what helps with this, and this? I said, well, you need to get this. I mean, they just began to just fall in love with the company and the concept. And they started talking about just this whole natural side of things and people who are on medication. And there's a good thing about it is a wide spectrum of people, young and old, in that meeting. And every one of them saw it. Every one of them saw it, how important it is. And matter of fact, the boss, she was so excited. She has a daughter in South Carolina going to school, and she said, my daughter needs to know about this. She's in health and wellness. My daughter, she was able to do this business. And I'm like, wow, listen, people are looking for business partners already in that room. So it's the stories, and we've started sharing more and more stories because of that meeting that we had at the East Coast region. And look at the results we're getting. We're starting to see more and more people come to business because of the stories that's being told. And, so I want to encourage people to tell as many stories as you possibly can. If you haven't got your testimony yet, man, make sure you know somebody else's testimony. Make sure you know the story of Pastor Denise, the story of Jesse Bowden, the story of Bishop Warren Hemphill, these stories of people in your life, that are being transformed. The story of Dr. Rosie. Wow, what an amazing story that is. These stories help you to promote your business, but it also gives the credibility behind what we're doing here. So, just share. And so, but what was this? I think it was toward the end of the month. You were talking about how Mel, he might just extend this promotion. Remember we were talking about that. And I said, well, you know what? Mel is good at doing that. They're good at extending the promotion. And so, guys, you see today, it's extended. So you still have this month from November 1st to November 30th. You still have the opportunity to sign up one person on the left and one person on the right and take them to executive and become a founding member of this company with a $1,000 bonus. Now, this promotion is separate from the last promotion, and they can't be combined in any way. But this one is different. If you look at the last promotion, it said sign one person up on the left and on the right on the diamond package. Okay, This promotion did not say that. So I have a lot of questions about people saying, well, does it have to be Diamond-Pack? Well, we're going to get that answer for you today, hopefully, from corporate. But according to this promotion and the promotion that we saw last month, it's different. So we'll find out from that, the whole diamond piece. But I believe, and this is just me talking, not corporate, I believe you're going to be able to sign people up on your left and right, and they can go executive with whatever package that we had to take them to executive. So we'll make sure that we follow up on that to get the definite answers to that question. But you have, again, an opportunity now to become a founding member of this company and to walk across that stage with a $1,000 check, all right? I'm looking at my $1,000 check right now that we got when we walked across that stage. And Pastor Denise, was it, I think it was about 46 people who walked across that stage.
Had a $1,000 check.
Had a $1,000 check that first time that this presentation or this promotion was put on.
Yes, it was. We have to remember that to be the executive founding member, it may not have been mentioned with this promotion, but the diamond package was the main one that qualified you for being the founding member part of it. So you probably can pretty much say it probably is going to be the diamond package that you have to get your two business partners on. Pastor Joe, we're getting all these wonderful, amazing testimonies, but we have to understand that they're happening because of the vitamin sprays and what's in it. And I'm going to try to pull out of you today. I don't know if you're going to share. I know that you come across some information in regards to the cell energy that you've been holding back, not wanting to share. So I'm going to see if you're going to share today, because yesterday I was at a TTP with Eric Gales and Pastor Teresa, Jesse Bowden, and Darlene Middleton. We were doing a TTP in Tyson's Corner, Virginia. It was awesome. I mean, my goodness. I'll let Eric share the testimony on that one, but my goodness, that was nothing light of a divine appointment, the way that turned out. But in the presentation, he was sharing some information in regards to vitamin D and cancer cells. And they had done this study. He actually had the video. They had done this study where they had these cancer cells, and they dropped just a few drops of vitamin D in the same container where these cancer cells were. You should have seen how quickly the cancer cells just dissolved. I mean, just dissolved. That video spoke volume when it comes to the importance of vitamin D in your body. And, we always say we can't say that our vitamin sprays heal or cure any sickness or disease you may have. But, we're hearing story after story how the vitamin D, the cellular energy, the Super 10, the Sun by 10, the B Boost is making a difference in the lives of so many people. But seeing that video that was given by ABC News, and the scientists and the doctors that went in and they had these cancer cells and they just dropped some vitamin D in it, the cancer cells are just gone. The vitamin D just got rid of them. And I think that is just so powerful that we are at a time where we're really learning the importance of nutrition and why the body needs good nutrition. We can see over the years how we've been just bombarding our body with so many things that is harmful to the body, with the sodas that we drink, with all the sugars that's contained in the food that we eat, with the poor children and the cereal that they eat every morning for breakfast. Look at the amount of sugar that is in that. Eric showed he had a sandwich bag of sugar. I forgot exactly how much it was, but it was like a sandwich bag full of sugar. That was the actual amount. He measured it out. The actual amount of sugar that's in a can of that Monster drink, that Monster Energy drink, it was the exact amount of sugar that was in that. And my goodness, we hear over and over that sugar is like the breeding ground for cancer. And I think there was a study also, Eric, this presentation was so powerful yesterday. He showed where they had done a study on a person, a person's brain that was on cocaine, and that there were certain areas that light up on your brain when you're under the influence of cocaine. Well, the same areas that lit up on the brain when they did this research on this person, the same areas that lit up in his brain that he was on cocaine was the same areas that lit up when they did a study from someone that was drinking a Monster Energy drink. start thinking, wow, just stop and think what you have been feeding your body over the years. And then begin to wonder why has there been so many different sickness and diseases and illnesses and Alzheimer's and stiffness to joints and asthma and just high blood pressure, cholesterol increase, and even in children dying from heart attacks. Seven grade little boy died from heart attacks. It's just unheard of. But now that we have the nutrition that the body needs, and the body is responding to it, and it's doing now what it wants to do, what it's supposed to do. Why? Because it's getting what it needs, and it's just so simple. And this is why it's so important that you not be afraid or timid about sharing such good news. You can't be scared or think that you're bothering somebody because you want to share something good with them. Just watch their face light up as you approach them. Do what Vicky Soto said. Take that vitamin spray and just do like the baton effect. Place it in the palm of their hand. And as you do, begin to talk about it. Begin to share somebody's story on what this vitamin spray did for you or what it did for somebody else. Who in their God-given right mind is going to turn away and say, well, that ain't for me? I can't hear anybody saying, that ain't for me. When you say, look, this for me, or this is what it did for my son, or this is what it did for my daughter, this is what it did for my grandfather, this is what it did for Jesse, this is what it did for Apostle Quick. Who is going to say, oh, that's not for me? I don't think anyone's going to say that. So please push yourself out of that comfort zone. Get out there and get this in people's hands. Understand that they need it. Understand that that's the most important thing. People need this. I mean, do like Ashley do. Open their mouth and spray it in their form. If they don't want to take it, just open their mouth and spray it in their form. So, Pastor Dale, are you going to share some of the information that you got in regard to the cell energy?
No, not yet. You got to put me on the spot. Well, all I can say is, I'm doing, my due diligence and fact checking and just making sure the stuff that we share is not, hype and stuff but it's actually science and has incredible science behind it. But, one of the things that we did find out, and that is such an amazing video with the cancer and the cancer cells, because, when you see that cancer, the cancer cells and that vitamin D is placed inside of it, and you start to see those cancer cells begin to dry up and begin to, become consumed by this vitamin D. You really begin to understand the power of the sun. The power of the sun invading our bodies. This is how we live. This is why we live, is because of what the sun provides for us. People who don't get enough sun go crazy. You go in some places in Alaska where they don't get sun, for long periods of months. And, they have some of the highest depression and suicide rates. Is because they're not getting the sun, And so your body, think about what your body how your body is functioning when it doesn't get enough of the sun or enough of the vitamin D. It starts, acting crazy. Things start changing. It starts to develop sickness and disease. But when you get enough of it, that sun, that vitamin D, begins to change things in a healthier way. You saw that in that little, it wasn't quite a petri dish, but you saw that in that experiment that they did with the cancer cells and the vitamin D. Mm-hmm. Well, what we're finding with the glutathione as well is we're finding that glutathione is becoming very, very popular in other places, not the U.S., and I'll speak to that in a minute. Popular in the sense that people are understanding about it and people are knowing about it, and you have governments in other countries who are buying or allowing people to buy the product. Buy this product with glutathione in it, and they're paying it as part of their Medicaid program and things of that nature because they understand the importance of getting glutathione in people to change their health. Now, in our country, as you just mentioned earlier, as we talk about naturopath and talk about helping people with natural remedies and natural products, we always have to say that our product is not designed to cure, to treat any sickness or disease. you know, and we have to say that by law, just so we won't get in trouble, okay? But when you think about all of the countries around the world who use natural products to treat and to heal, okay, they're not bound by that same restriction, okay? Because you go to some of these islands and you go to, you know, some of these areas in Asia and Africa, and these people, you know, when they get sick, you know, they go, I was talking to a guy who was doing a presentation with a guy in Trinidad, and he was talking about, you know, 4 o'clock in the morning, he was over there with his dad, visiting his dad, and he woke up and couldn't find his father. He's like, where in the world, 4 o'clock in the morning? So finally about 6 o'clock, his dad came back in, and with a bunch of, you know, roots in his hand. And he said, Dad, where you been? We got worried. We're looking for you. And he said, oh, I've been having this headache, and I went out into the woods to find me these roots. So I'm going to make me some tea. And he's looking at his dad like, what? And his dad came in, washed them roots off, man, and, you know, chopped up them roots and grinded them up and boiled them and put them in a tea, and he started drinking his help. And he said headache went away immediately. He said because, see, back in their country, they know that there's stuff that's naturally out there in the woods that they can use to heal, but they've been doing it for hundreds and thousands of years. Okay, so these are natural products that people are using all around the world that has been used to treat and to heal. But over here, we can't because there's a government agency that says you can't say that because, you know, the pharmaceutical companies says that their stuff can treat and heal because they got double-blind studies to show that. But what about the thousands, 100,000s, and millions and billions of people around the world who use this certain leaf and this certain root and this certain plant and been using it all this time for different reasons? You know, that's not good enough science. That's not good enough evidence. So, you know, the pharmaceutical company pretty much have bought the FDA and it's basically said, hey, listen, we own everything, but they can't patent natural products. See, they can't patent the goji berry, okay? It's a natural fruit. You couldn't patent it. So they can't control it. They can't control the promotion. And so it's an attempt to protect their branding and protect their market, and so they do that. And so we are limited by what we can say. But when you go across the waters, you're not. People can say that because that's what's being done. So when we have all these testimonies about people being healed and people being, you know, the bodies being changed and things of that nature, we're bound by disclosure to say that we can't treat, we can't heal, and we can't, you know, we can't say that this is going to heal you, okay? And so what's happening with the glutathione is that the glutathione is so popular in other countries that doctors are saying right now, even now in this country, they're saying the doctor of the future, when you go to see them, they're going to say, let's get your blood pressure and let's also check your glutathione level. Because glutathione is now having breakthroughs around the world where the medical profession is already starting to see that if we don't understand about glutathione, which is the largest molecule and the largest antioxidant in the body, if we don't understand what that means to people's health, then we're not really, we're not really being providers of health. And so when you go to your doctor and you ask, and Pastor Denise, you did this. When you go to your doctor and you ask about glutathione, and they look at you like a calf at a new gate, what are you talking about? What's a glutathione? Well, that should be concerning to us when we understand that they don't even understand how the largest molecule in our body functions. And what it controls and what it can help and what it can do. All right. Yeah. So what we're finding now is, in the research we're doing is that here this glutathione is that's becoming so popular around the world. Now doctors here in stateside are starting to figure that glutathione and now tracing it and tagging it to chronic disease and a lot of other things that's taking place in people's bodies. So this glutathione is going to become a very, very popular thing. Mel and Amy, they knew about glutathione 20 years ago, 25 years ago. And today, guys, the pills, now great thing, just listen to this, and I'll come back to you. The great thing about this thing here is that, you can't take glutathione in the form of a pill that's going to be effective. Because your body has to have 3 enzymes in order functioning in it in order to break down the pill in order to bring the glutathione out. Well, most people are depleted of some of these enzymes, some of these antioxidants in their bodies, and so they can take the glutathione in the form of a pill, and it does like everything else, it goes right through you and does not get into your cells. All right, so the best way that people are taking it now is in the form of a shake, some type of drink. They can get it into the cells that way because it doesn't have the same pressure from the digestive system that takes place. But listen to this. We are the first company to be able to get glutathione in the form of a spray with a delivery system that gets 98% absorbed. That's game over. Okay, that's game over, game changer, and we're excited about it. So now that the world is coming to grips and finding out about glutathione, and now we start finding out that we got the best delivery system with glutathione, you're going to begin to see people talking about this cell energy all over the place. Just like, a year ago, a little over a year ago, when we were in that private meeting with Mel and Amy, and they were rolling out these products, and they said, it was doctors in that meeting who said, most doctors don't understand the importance of vitamin D3 because the researchers, those who are doctor PhDs, researchers, they did, but they don't have patients. So the information hadn't transferred. It hadn't got from the researchers to the medical providers themselves. But he said, in the next year to 2 years, you're going to start seeing doctors become aware of the importance of vitamin D, and they're going to start putting their patients on vitamin D like crazy. Well, what's have happened over the last year, Pastor Denise, we start seeing more and more information coming out of the medical professional arenas where doctors are starting talking about vitamin D, vitamin D, vitamin D, vitamin D. And when we were in that private meeting, they weren't talking about vitamin D like that, but they projected that's what's going to happen because of all the research that had been done on vitamin D by the research doctors. The same thing now is getting ready to happen with this glutathione. You don't hear a whole lot about it in our medical professionals and doctors that we have. But let me tell you, because of results and because of the testing, because of these other PhDs who already know about glutathione, let me tell you, the next 18 months to 8 to 2 years, listen, you're going to hear it. Glutathione, glutathione, glutathione. And we are poised right now in the middle of this new wave that's coming to be the brand that carries this product to markets all around the world. So you're in the right place at the right time with the right company and the right product.
That we are. We are really, really in a beautiful position knowing that this information has really just recently been released, and we've been ahead of the game. I just thank God for CEOs and co-founders like Mel and Amy Gill, who have their ears open, that's hearing this information years ago. I do remember Pastor Dell and Mel said him and Amy were studying about the glutathione over 20 years ago. Something I think it came up 20 years ago, and it just melted. It just stuck with them, and they just began to, they just continued to search it out and to learn about it. And it's not by chance that we are the first ones to have glutathione in a spray. And this is something that is going to be in demand. No other company has it in a spray. We are the first to get it into a spray. And Mel talked about how difficult it was to really break it down to get it in a spray form, but we have it. And same with the vitamin D. The research on vitamin D over the last 10 years is just now being released, so it's out there now. The research is out there, but the great thing about it, we are so ahead of the game. And so they're doing the media is actually doing the advertisement for us. What you need to do is follow up. Every time there's a news report in regards to vitamin D and cancer cells and asthma and Alzheimer's, you need to do a follow-up. That you're trying to prospect and says, yes, did you hear that news report? And about vitamin D, I told you. The same thing with glutathione. You start telling your friends and family and your guests now, hey, pretty soon you're going to hear about this glutathione. Listen up, keep your ear open. Then once it's announced, follow up, say, see, I told you, you're going to get an injection. You can't take it in a pill form, or you can, but it's not going to work. It's not going to break it in your system. The other option, they're going to give you an injection. Do you want an injection or you want to spray? Of course you want to spray. And Pastor Dale, you were there when I went to my doctor's earlier this year, And I explained to my doctor that I was taking this glutathione in the spray, and I had Pastor Dale on the speakerphone muted out because I wanted him to hear what my doctor's reaction was to glutathione. And she said, glutathione? Guess what? She had no idea what it was. She had no idea what it was. And she grabbed the salt energy, she looked at the bottle, and she started writing down all the ingredients that was on it. She wrote down glutathione. She left out of the examination room where she was supposed to be examining me, and she started researching glutathione. She left me in there for like 10 or 15 minutes because she was researching glutathione. It really got her attention, her focus. So I said, look, go get it. You come back in here and finish with me. Then you can finish doing your research. So when you finish, give me a call because I have it in a spray. So doctors are already looking into it. You have it. Make sure you get the word out there and let them know where they can get it, that they can get it from you. Well, okay. Well, family, that is it for this week. We have had a fantastic week. We've had some wonderful, once again, life-changing testimonies, stories in regards to vitamin sprays, stories in regards to how the compensation plan is just doing wonders for people's finances. People are already talking about retirement. They're going on vacation. They're taking off work. They're doing the things that they want to do because they can afford to do it. Your confidence level in your business should really be boosted by now because you're hearing from people around the globe just sharing information in regard to our spray, the ingredients, the quality of it, the stories behind it. Your confidence level and your belief level and your business and then your product should be off the chain. And like Barry Ackles says, when your belief level goes up, your paycheck goes up. So you should, in all confidence, be able to go out there and tell someone about what's happening here in Team Up and Network. We're going to bring this call to a close, and we're going to bring in Kevin Vaughn One-Star from Atlanta, Georgia, to bring us our quote for today. Kevin, are you there?
Oh, Pastor Denise, Pastor Dale, everyone, what a great day. Can you hear me okay? Incredible. Yes, incredible, Pastor Denise. Quick comments. Boy, what a great company. What a great leadership we have in you and, of course, Mel, Amy, and Mr. Gill. And what a great time to be alive, Pastor Denise, Pastor Dale. What a great time to be alive, ladies and gentlemen. I tell you, Pastor Denise, all I can do, everybody listening all across the planet, you just need to thank God for being here today on the call, being part of this wonderful company, and, of course, be able to change not only lives but history of lives and the generations to come. Isn't that powerful when you think about it? What a great company, Pastor Denise, Pastor Dale. Just incredible. Pastor Denise, Pastor Dale, while you was talking today, I always taking notes when you guys are talking because you guys give such great thought pattern and information. But guess what, Pastor Denise, Pastor Dale? There's people right now on the planet trying to find the fountain of youth. The fountain of youth does not exist. Guess what we have? We have the fountain of sprays, Pastor Denise, Pastor Dale. We have the fountain of sprays, and they are real. We can touch them. I can touch them right now and share with anybody on the planet. Isn't that powerful, ladies and gentlemen? So I'm excited about not the fountain of youth, but the fountain of sprays that help get some of your youth back. Isn't that powerful? Incredible. Incredible. So thank God for everybody on the call. You guys do not play with this business, as Pastor Dale says and Pastor Denise says. This is serious, very serious as far as the timing and positioning of our business. And you guys need to talk to 10 to 20 people a day. I'm saying up to Annie, you guys talk to people every day. I don't care what you're doing. You need to open your mouth and spray somebody, talk to them about your business, talk to them about their health, ask them how they're doing in their health, ask them about their family's health, friends and relatives, whatever. But make sure you let people know you're in the 10 family and you're in the 10 business, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Pastor Denise, are you ready for some awesome quotes for today?
Yes, awesome sir. Let's get them pumped up for the weekend.
Oh, I tell you, these are going to leave you running today, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, the theme for today is that you are great. The theme of the day, ladies and gentlemen, is you are great. Our first quote comes from Mr. John Ruskin. He says, a great thing can only be done by a great person. Wow, that's everybody on the call. And they do it without effort. Woo! I like that one, boy. Y'all just go do it. It ain't even hard for y'all to do because that's what you are. You are a great person, and you can do it without effort today. Hey, our next quote, Pastor Denise, Pastor Dale, everyone, comes from Shakespeare, William Shakespeare himself. He says, be not afraid of greatness. Woo! Some are born great, some achieve greatness, and others have greatness thrusted upon them. Woo! You have been introduced to 10, ladies and gentlemen. You have not been introduced to 10 by accident. Make sure you help other people not be an accident. They are not going to be an accident. Everybody you share is not going to be an accident. You're supposed to be in this business. You're supposed to help others. You're supposed to get their health back, and you're supposed to move forward. Incredible. Our next quote comes from Julie Garland, ladies and gentlemen, one of our actresses. He says, always be a first-rate version of yourself. Woo! I want to read that again. Always be a first-rate version of yourself and not a second-rate version of someone else. Woo! Come on, baby. Oh, come on now. Oh, I love that one too, Pastor Denise, Pastor Dale. Y'all be yourself and get those sprays out there. Please, ladies and gentlemen, do not play with this one. This is awesome what Melanie Miguel put before us. It is changing the world. Our last quote of the day, ladies and gentlemen, comes from Rumney. He says, you were born with potential. You were born with goodness and trust. You were born with ideas and dreams. You were born with greatness. You were born with wings. Woo! You were not meant for crawling. So don't. You have wings. I know Pastor Denise loves this. You have wings. Learn to use them and fly back to you, Pastor Denise. Everybody go get them.
That's a beautiful one to end with, Kevin. Put those wings out, guys. Get out there and just soar. You don't have to do a bunch of flapping. Just get out there and soar because the work is already done. Just catch that wave of growth that's taking place right now in the network. There is a wave of growth happening, guys. You better be on board. You better stay on board. You better stay above PSC. You better continue to share because this thing is happening. It's happening fast, and it's happening big. Well, Pastor Dale, you have any closing remarks before we send them off into the weekend?
You know, we got one last thing. You know, you said something earlier, Pastor Denise, when you sent out the text, you know, about the nut. You know, being the nut. Yeah, you said in the forest was once just a little nut that held its ground. You know, well, think about this. You know, 100 years ago, people walked through the forest. They walked and stepped on these nuts. You know, you know, you step on things that don't matter to you. But guess what happens? One of these nuts says, one of these nuts says, I'm better than that. And 100 years later, now they're the tallest oak tree in the woods. You know, that you stepped on that nut and you pushed it into the soil. That nut then germinated and became a tree. And now we look up to that tree. So think about your life. Think about where you are now. You may think that, you know, you don't matter or you don't make, you know, this little business of yours don't matter, but just think about it. You know, you put the right fertilizer on it. You put the right people in your life. You know, 20 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, you'll be looking back and you say, this little company that started with 4 products now affords me the opportunity to travel the world and leave an inheritance to my grandchildren. It means something.
That's something, right? That's the word. Now, Pastor Dale, like you said, you got to put some fertilizer on that little nut. And that just goes to show you're going to go through some mess. But guess what? It's that mess that helps you to grow. So get through it. Be like that little nut. Hold your ground because you're going to be the biggest oak in the forest. Family, thank you for being here with us this week. It has been phenomenal. Get out there and share this good news. Get out there right now. Get off this phone. Get out there. Tell somebody about 10 vitamin sprays and change their life forever. Love you guys so much. You guys are awesome. Know that. Look at yourself in the mirror and just say, I am awesome, because you are. You are awesome. Now go be awesome to someone else. Love you so much. Be back Monday morning, 8 o'clock a.m. Pacific, 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And once again, you are loved and you are appreciated. Have a blessed day on purpose. Mwah.